special about them? What do you all, tell me one thing about each of the daughters. Something special. You're old enough to have something.
She is, she'll be a senior in college this year.
All right.
And she'll be starting Paul Mitchell, and she makes wigs. So.
See? Good. Good to know. Okay. So I'm Latisha Randolph, and I am originally from Maryland. I moved to California, lived there 18 years, and then I got married and moved here. I speak Spanish fluently, and I work for myself. I have 3 kids. They're 5, 9, and 13. So I don't wish her at the house because I want to see them grow, but sometimes the 13-year-old makes me crazy, if I know what I mean. Okay, so I'm excited to be here tonight to be your hostess and to introduce our 2 speakers. So we have some giveaways, so hopefully everyone has a raffle ticket. We'll be giving out a few prizes tonight, and I'm excited for you to hear the information. So I'm going to introduce our first person, and that's Miss Terri Allen, the fitness motivator. And Terri Allen is a nationally certified fitness instruction and personal trainer. She's dedicated to helping women meet their fitness and wellness goals, and she's done that for over 6 years. Sharing her highly acclaimed exercise expertise and nutrition tips, Terri has appeared on The Morning Show, Fox 4 News Kansas City, KC Live, Morning Show, NBC, KSHB 41, and most recently, Better Kansas City Morning Show, and that's on CBS KC TV 5. She organized this event, No More Secrets, Women Discussion on Fibroids, to share her personal struggles with the uterine fibroids, and she encourages other women to educate themselves and find the medical and emotional support that they need. She really deserves an amazing ovation and round of applause because she put this on for you all. So let's give her a really big and share a really personal story of her experience with fibroids. So please be supportive and listen to her. I know she's a little nervous, but she shouldn't be. She's on TV all the time. I don't know why she's nervous. But please, Terri Allen.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Still evening time. It's a beautiful day. Did you guys enjoy the day today? Yes. I did as well. Okay, so I had a speech all prepared. Speech writer wrote it for me, nice chronological order and all that, and I'm just going to wing it today. I'm just going to talk today. We cool with that? Everybody fine with that? Yeah. All right, so I'm glad you're here. As she said, I'm Terri Allen. I'm glad you made it because it shows that you want support and you want information, and so we can talk about the stigma with fibroids. So I don't know if any of you, do you guys know if you have fibroids or just for information, but I'm going to share my story with fibroids. When I met Dr. Doan, she walked into the examination room and she said, hey, you'll hear her. That's how she talks. See, you have some massive fibroids. And I'm like, yeah. So the fibroid term and the fibroids, I had just heard about them just the week prior. So I still was like, okay, I got fibroids. Gone to see this specialist I've been referred to. So she goes, do you have kids? And I said, no, my husband and I have been trying the last few years, but no kids yet. And she goes, so you want kids? So I thought those questions were kind of odd together. So I said, well, what's up? And she goes, well, you need a hysterectomy. Hysterectomy? I mean, I immediately, I looked around, is this somebody else? I said, are you sure you have my chart? Because I'm fitness, Terri Allen. I'm Terri Allen Fitness. Are you sure you got my chart? Because I work out 3 times a day and I teach classes and kickboxing and Zumba and this and that. And I speak on this and I eat super healthy and kale and kale and kale. So surely I don't need a hysterectomy. And she goes, you didn't know about the fibroids? No, I mean, not before last week, no. So she goes, well, you have massive fibroids, and yeah, you're going to need a hysterectomy pretty soon. And she was moving pretty fast from there. So I started thinking about, okay, well, I've been going to the doctor for a while now for UTIs. UTI symptoms. Come to find out, one of the fibroids was pushing on my bladder, and that was giving the UTI symptoms. But no other doctor took the time to look further than, you have a UTI. And I kept explaining, I don't see how I have a UTI because I only drink water. Well, you have a UTI, but I only drink water. I don't understand how I have, you sure you haven't had Gatorade? I don't drink Gatorade. I drink water. That went on for about 2 years prior to me stepping into the room with Dr. Doan. I kept getting misinformation from friends. I would tell girlfriends, oh, my periods has gotten really bad. I'm leaking in, when I try to change a tampon in the restroom, I would bleed on the floor. Girlfriends would say, I know that's normal. You going in pre-menopause. Oh, that's normal. Oh, okay. I left it alone. I'm thinking every other woman in their 40s was going through the same thing. So she said, oh, this was a friend that teaches fitness classes as well. So she says, yeah, when I kick my foot up, blood splatters on the mirror. It's normal. Oh, okay, so I'm gonna start blood. Okay, that's normal, all right. So for those 2 years, while I'm taking antibiotics because I have a UTI every month, I'm just thinking, I'm expecting blood, so that's normal. Because that's what we say, right? My mother bled like this. This is normal. My grandmother had heavy periods like that. This is normal. This goes through my family. I remember telling the doctor I was going to Vegas one weekend, and it was during the time of my period. So I didn't want to bleed through my clothes and deal with this period in Las Vegas. So I asked her to put me on birth control. To me, that would have been what are your periods? She was rose-free. No questions asked, rose-free. I took birth control, so I would have a period. So circling back to Dr. Doan, she goes, well, let's take some tests to find out the location, how many you have, how bad it is, because we just did an ultrasound, so she wanted more information. So we go through a lot of tests, I found out that I was claustrophobic. I didn't know. I didn't like the MRI machine. I didn't know until I got there. So we had to do open MRIs and CAT scans and shooting dye up and another, you remember all those tests, right? So we take all these tests, and next thing you know, we are scheduling, my husband and I went with a myomectomy, and you'll hear more about that from Dr. Doan. Myomectomy is when you just take the fibroids out and you leave your uterus and everything else, because we thought maybe with removing the fibroids, we would have a chance of getting pregnant. So we have the myomectomy scheduled the day before. Dr. Doan just calls me, and how they call you before surgery to tell you, the last time you can eat, and this and that. So it's real not a reality yet. So I said, so we still doing this tomorrow? We still doing this surgery? Yes, Terry, you have 6 of them here, and their size so-and-so millimeters, and they're this size, and they're this inches, and so yeah, you're still gonna have the surgery tomorrow. Oh, okay. She said, you'll be fine. I said, all right. So that night I had my little last meal. I chose tacos, my favorite meal. So I had tacos that night before midnight. My husband and I prayed over it and moved on. So the next morning we had the surgery. And we had the surgery the next morning. I remember waking up, and the first faces I seen was my mom and my husband. And when your mom says, hey baby, your surgery was good. You need to talk to Dr. Doan. What? That's it? Yeah, she'll be in to talk to you. So now, I'm nervous again. My heart's dropped again. Now, wait a minute now. We didn't sign no papers on what's going on. So Dr. Doan comes in, exhausted, and she says, well, you had, those people want to come in. She says, well, it was an exhausting surgery. I'm exhausted. was exhausted. Surgery was over 2 hours long. I stopped counting at 20 fibroids. You started to bleed, so I wasn't able to get all of the fibroids out. We had to leave 4. But you'll be okay at your age, or, you know, that age. At your age, they probably won't go anymore. You'll be okay. My uterus continued, so she left the uterus, she left, you know, the ovaries. My uterus continued to grow. The 4 cysts continued to grow, and they brought cousins, and, you know, they had a family, they didn't want to be alone. So we had more fibroids and a large uterus and excruciating pain. So shortly after that, I had to have a hysterectomy. So it was a lot with the 2 surgeries back to back. I had a lot of recovery. I didn't have that, how long is recovery? The 12 week of 8 weeks? 6 weeks. It's more like 6 months. It's a long time. Before I got to do fitness and kickboxing and all that stuff. But we're here today. So that's why I wanted to share your story, so we can start a sisterhood. So we can share together, find out the symptoms, the treatments, the circumstances, because everyone's circumstance is not going to be the same. My situation was different. You know, I had the fibroids for quite some time and never knew. So I'm glad you came to get the information. Next, we'll have Dr. Doan, who will give you some more specifics. And thank you for listening to my story. I got it. So I have this bucket right here. Oh, let me tell you what, let me get my little gifts. Oh, it's raffle time. Y'all got y'all tickets? Get your tickets. And y'all, we're twins. Because you win one raffle. Oh, okay. I need a volunteer to come pick a number for me. Anybody? Come on, Melanie. Yeah, Melanie loves me. Thanks, Melanie. What happens if I pick my own number? Then you win.
Oh, I like you now.
All right. This is a sip of joy. This is compliments from me, Legal Shield. My card's in there, and so is a gift card to Starbucks for you. They have tea, they have coffee, they have drinks, they have all kinds of stuff. 846 737 8.
It's not fair if I have it in my hand.
You have it in your hand?
Yeah, along with my hand.
Oh. Okay. Come on, gallback bladder. Is that your ticket though that you have?
No.
Okay. Gosh, I mean, some of our people just came in. 8, 4, 6, 7, 3, 8, 1.
Ready to say 3, 8, 1?
I did. Can you believe it? All right, congratulations. What's your name?
Rashida.
Rashida, give Rashida a hand. So here's what I learned about gifts. It could have been a piece of gum. It doesn't matter what you do. People just want to win. Am I right? I won! I got a piece of gum. Now, it's a really nice gift, so we're excited. We'll do about 4 more. There's a grand prize at the end. So let's go ahead and have our speaker get ready. So Dr. Laura Doan was born and raised in Brockville, Ontario, Canada. She received her medical degree from UMKC Medical School and later did her OB-GYN residency from 1984 to 1988. She has been in private practice in Lee Summit for 29 years. I don't know how to do that when she's still 25, but Dr. Doan is an assistant professor and she has an OB/GYN practice that is affiliated with the University Health TMC Lakewood. Please help me welcome, with a round of applause, Dr. Doan.
So, that's an old CD. I've been in practice 31 years now.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, so we have a demonstration. I'm talking about fibroids, obviously. And I was going to be a uterus, but Terri has agreed to be a uterus. So she's going to come over here and show you. So she is going to be my uterus. And I'm just going to explain how the uterus works. Will you stand on the uterus?
Gotta be extra loud, Dr. Doan.
Okay, so Terri is representing a uterus, okay? And these are the fallopian tubes, okay? So the fallopian tubes are where the egg and the sperm meet, okay? So the fallopian tubes, they have these little cilia that move and suck the eggs up into the tube. And so you guys have all heard that it takes 1 million sperm to fertilize an egg. And that's really true. It takes 1 million sperm because they're swimming against the current, because actually there's a negative, the cilia are producing a lot of pressure, and so there's a stream, like a flow into the uterus, so everything gets sucked into the uterus, and so the sperm are swimming up and trying to get an egg, and they usually find the egg about right here on the elbow, and then they go into the uterus. So if this fallopian tube is blocked by a fibroid, come on over, fibroid. Oh, and I need a bladder and a bowel. Okay, thank you. Thank you guys for these are all good sports. Okay. Okay, so bladder, bowel, could you stand right here? Bowel, right in the back. So when the fibroids occur, like right there, they block the fibria and the tubes, so you can't get pregnant. Okay, when the fibroids, okay, now, my big fibroid, okay, sometimes the fibroids come in all different sizes, and so these are little fibroids, believe it or not, and there are fibroids that are even bigger than the uterus. Now she is my bigger one, and she's attached to the uterus, and see her pushing on the bladder? Oh, and the bladder feels terrible. Oh, and it's so small now. And then sometimes, okay, then sometimes it pushes on the bowel, and you feel constipated. And the bowel is like, oh my goodness. So, thank you for volunteers. I just want to show you. Does that make sense? This road now. Thank you for being good sports. So that's audience participation. Okay. And I did not have a speechwriter, obviously. Okay, Terri, can you help me? You might want to take that off. It is so hot. Thank you, guys. Okay. So, yes. So what I'm going to do is when I go thumbs up, when I go thumbs up, here it is. When I go thumbs down, most of them want to do it. Okay, thumbs up. Thumbs up. Okay, so everybody wants to have a happy uterus. I mean, everybody thinks they have a happy uterus. But the truth is, really Actually, your uterus usually just kicks your butt. Okay, and I'm going to show you why it kicks your butt. Okay, next. Okay, so your uterus is made of 3 layers. Okay, it has an outside protective layer. It has an inside layer, which is a smooth muscle tissue, and that's where the fibroids occur. And so what fibroids are one cell in that smooth muscle tissue that starts multiplying, and it forms a whorl, it's like a swirly, of muscle tissue, just in one spot. And then you can have it occur all over your uterus. And then these are the tubes and the organs that I was talking about. And then the inside has all the glands. So this is the glands that grow once a month. Go. Okay, so like Terri was talking about, you can have lots of fibroids, and they can occur anywhere. And this fibroid is showing, this picture is just showing you, this fibroid, it looks like it's the whole uterus. Okay, so they can be the size of a marble to the size of a cantaloupe. I've even seen them the size of a watermelon. They can occur anywhere. When they occur close to the glands or the endometrium, they push on the endometrium and it causes the blood vessels not to constrict. So every month your blood vessels, your muscle, or every month the glands are shed from your uterus and the muscle constricts around it just like it would constrict around a baby. And if there's a fibroid there, it keeps the glands from getting constricted, and so then you bleed. And so that's why you bleed. Anyway. Okay. Also, fibroids can interfere with implantation and fertilization and sometimes cause miscarriages. When they occur on the cervix, it can cause a lot of pain and also bleeding with intercourse. And they can push in the bladder. Okay. And then here's a representation of what I was trying to show you with the different fibroids. But you can see there's a fibroid pushing on the bowel, there's one pushing on the bladder, there's one on the cervix that's going to be causing pain with intercourse and bleeding. And then there's a little fibroid that's hanging inside the uterus, and that fibroid will act like an IUD and keep people from getting pregnant because it irritates the lining of the uterus. So sometimes people have problems with infertility, and it's because they have fibroids like that that are irritating the lining of the uterus. And then you can have a pedunculated fibroid, which is the top one, which is kind of hanging off to the side. And those really don't cause problems. And there are some fibroids that don't cause any problems. And those explain. Okay, this is a picture of how it would cause infertility. So this is the real case. It's not my case, but it's a real case that this fibroid was actually where the placenta implanted, and so the fibroid was taking all the blood and from the placenta, and the baby wasn't growing, and eventually it died. So, I mean, typically fibroids don't cause miscarriages and don't cause infertility, but sometimes they can. That's how they work. Okay. Who gets fibroids? Well, fibroids are the most common pelvic tumor in all females. Fibroids always occur after you first start having periods. So, when you're a kid, life is good. But as soon as you start having periods, that's when the fibroids can start. And then increase in size and quantity with age. And so, fibroids also regress after menopause if you don't have hormones that are stimulating. So if you take hormones, the fibroids might continue to grow. And the fibroids are also always hormonally driven. That's why they start when you start having periods. Can you hear me?
No.
Okay. So fibroids start when you start having periods. They can start when you start having periods because they're hormonally driven. If you don't have estrogen and progesterone, fibroids are not going to occur. Can you hear me now? Mm-hmm. Yes. No? Maybe so?
You should yell.
I hate yelling. It makes me mad. testing of 3,000 females between ages 18 to 30, and in the black females, 26% by the age of 30 already have fibroids, and only 7% of white females did. But white females caught up with black females when they had to be over 40. This one says 80% of black females, but actually it's more like 90% of black females have fibroids, but now 70% of white females have fibroids. But that means when you ask somebody in your family what is normal, they don't know because you got fibroids from them. You know, like 90% of people that you know have fibroids. Anyway, typically black females are found to have an incidence of fibroids 2 to 3 times greater than white women. The etiology of increased incidence is unknown, but it's thought to be a combination of genetics and the epigenetics. Epigenetics are the environmental factors that occur that influence your genetics. And it's thought that diet, lifestyle, stress, all can have a influence on fibroids. So black women have symptoms an average of 4 to 6 years prior to white women. Fibroids grow at a slower rate in white women after 45, but not in black women. So, and the rate of hysterectomies are greater in black females than white females. So this is really, you know, a good subject that really everybody needs to learn about that, especially in the black population. It's really important to know this. And data is mixed in the Latino American because there's a lot of black Latinos that were in this study. So we think it's 1.3%, but we don't know for sure. Okay. Having one or more pregnancies past 20 weeks decreases fibroid formation. And the older you are when you have your first baby, the better it is, because that's not true in everything, obviously. If you pass 35 years old and you get pregnant, you know, you're more likely to die, and you're more likely to have a baby that has Down syndrome. But it does help the fibroids to regress when you're older and you're pregnant. So that's the only good thing about being older. Seriously. But we work with people, if you're older than 35 and you're pregnant, and we're going to help you get through it and keep you alive, and you just become high risk. Longer intervals between pregnancy increases the incidence. And why that happens is you're giving the hormones longer to start growing the fibroids again. So if you're basically barefoot and pregnant, you might not get fibroids. You know, so fibroids are here. Okay. And so I'm sorry, I get excited. Okay, and so menarche, early menarche, or the first time you have a period, influences when the earlier it is, the more likely you are to have fibroids, because you're exposed to estrogen and progesterone longer. So in black women in general, have an earlier menarche than white women. So, okay. And then exposure to environmental plastics increase your risk of fibroids. So plasticizers, PCBs found in insulation, old fluorescent lights, microscopic oils, none of which I touch, but I do touch these plastic bottles. So EPA from plastic bottles, canned food, and recycled bottles 3 to 7. We all think it's so healthy when we're drinking bottled water, but it's probably better out of the tap. You know, sorry. We're not trying to give anybody fibroids here. Also, your diet affects everything. Consumption of beef, red meat, ham increases the incidence of fibroids. So anything that makes you gain weight, that, like beef, they bulk up the beef. There's lots of fat in beef. And sometimes some might have hormones in them too. And so if you're eating beef, you might be eating exogenous hormones. But now everybody's going organic, so hopefully nobody's getting that. But it has been shown to increase the fibroids. Of course, green vegetables and fruits are always good, right? And dairy products also are good. They decrease the incidence. Consumption of carotenoids, and I'm like, what is an animal-based carotenoid? But I guess liver is good for us. Who knew, right? I mean, of course, we've always heard liver is good for us, but it does help reduce the incidence of fibroids. Vitamin D deficiency is also an important contributor to fibroids. So, vitamin D is synthesized in the skin, and there's a pro-hormone that's activated that melanin blocks. And so African Americans have more vitamin D deficiency. And there's like people saying, well, you don't need vitamin D. You need vitamin D. We all need vitamin D. We all live in the Midwest. We all need vitamin D. We need at least 1,000 milligrams a day. Just take it. Really. I mean, just take vitamin D. Because you're not going to go out in the sun that much. And then you'll get skin cancer. So just take a vitamin D, 1,000 milligrams. And then alcohol increases fibroid formation. And again, that's probably because it puts weight on us. And smoking decreases fibroid formation. And that's probably because, it keeps the weight off. Because instead of eating, you're smoking. But most fibroids are not smokers in general. Most fibroids don't smoke. The diet is So, most fibroids, I need fibroids, I really hate fibroids. But most fibroids are not symptomatic. Okay, most fibroids you can live with, it's just bloody in your uterus. But, and the symptoms are when they get bigger. So, this is my favorite part. So, we don't know what abnormal bleeding is. And I must say that I really didn't know until Terri asked me, to do the talk last year, like how much people, I know in general when people are bleeding too much, because I know like 3 pads or 3 or 4 tampons a day is what's normal. And then people will come in to me and say, oh, I'm bleeding so heavy, I changed 3 tampons today. I can't help it. But what is normal is 80 milliliters of blood for the whole week. Okay, that's what's normal. And so what does 80 milliliters mean? Well, each tampon carries 5 milliliters. And there are some people that just bleed 5 milliliters. That's it. And there's other people that bleed 80 milliliters. And then the average is 40. If you're going, I'll be there. Oh. Thank you. So the average, thank you so much. You guys are so good because they've been to my talk before. So the average is 40 milliliters, okay? And so each tampon holds 5 milliliters. And so that's what they were going to show you. And I brought wine. Okay. I cannot turn water into wine.
Yes.
Okay. And this is not blood. This is not church service. But this is the best I have. Okay. So this is 5 milliliters. And this is a regular tampon. I'm not talking super tampon, okay? So this is 5 millimeters. And this is what it does. Isn't that amazing, tampon? It's so good. I mean, they should do this on commercials. I mean, the tampons are extraordinary how well they absorb blood, but this is 5. If you are doing more than 16 tampons in a period, you are bleeding too much. Okay, you are bleeding way too much. Or if you're lifting up your leg to kick and you're bleeding. Okay, so I got a box of tampons. Because some people tell me that they're just bleeding a box of tampons. Okay, a box of tampons has 40 tampons. Okay, 40. And then you're only supposed to be doing 16 of these tampons. That's it. So if you're going through a box of tampons and it's bigger than super, you are doing way too much bleeding. Okay? And that's changing your life. You just don't know. So this is 40 milliliters. This is what you're supposed to be doing. So anybody here use the cup?
No.
Okay. If nobody uses the cup.
It's the
Period cup.
There's a new thing called a vaginal cup. A menstrual cup. And it holds 25 cc's. Okay, 40 is average, and it's holding 25. And so if you're bleeding through, like overflowing 2 vaginal cups, you're bleeding too much. Or you're bleeding more than average. So 80 is the maximum, 40 is the average. Okay, so really it's 3 vaginal cups is more than you should be. 2 is more than average. Okay, so I'm just always impressed by like what it is. Okay, so if you're having periods more than once every 3 weeks, that's too much. And if you're having periods less than every 6 weeks, that's not enough. If your periods are spaced out 2 months apart, you're going to get cancer. Okay, and you should see a doctor. Okay, because you probably have PCOS or some other problem, and it's a problem. Unless you're on hormones to make you not bleed, you should be bleeding every 3 to 6 weeks. If you're bleeding more, it's too much. If you're bleeding less, you're going to get cancer. Okay. When you're bleeding more, you just get anemic, and you can actually die. But most people don't die, and so that's why we all focus on it. So also your menstrual cycle shouldn't last longer than 8 days. And if it's lasting longer than 8 days, you need to see a doctor. If you're bleeding after intercourse, you need to see a doctor. Okay. If you're bleeding in between your periods, you need to see a doctor. Okay. All those things could be signs of cancer. Or they could just be something we can fix. So 16 regular tampons is normal, 8 maxi pads, and that's it. That's all you should bleed. If you're bleeding more than 8 maxi pads, you're getting anemic. You need to see a doctor. And so I concluded this. Remember, family members experience the same genes and the same epigenetic conditions, and also are abnormal. So don't ask your family members if you're normal, because they're the ones that gave you the genes, or they have the same genes. Okay. So abnormal bleeding causes anemia. Okay, anemia is low red blood count. Red blood cells bring oxygen to your brain and to your muscles. Okay, if you're not getting oxygen to your brain and to your muscles, you are not being all you can be. Okay, you're fatigued. I mean, maybe you feel like you're like normal, but you could be so much more. I mean, think about Lance Armstrong, who doped. You know how he doped? He took red blood cells and put them back in him. That's what people do to dope. They put more red blood cells in them. And you got it, and when we have, I mean, I bled too much, I had a hysterectomy. And so I'm also older, so I wouldn't bleed anymore anyway. But I was anemic too. I mean, what happens to us females is we get anemic, we get tired, we're not all we can be. We miss work, we lose wages because we're just so tired when we get home. Like, who wants to do anything? You have to take care of the baby, and then, you're just tired. You have a lot more energy if you're not anemic. So it causes a loss of wages, a loss of opportunity in life, and enjoyment of life. You can be a lot happier if you're not anemic. Other symptoms are related to volume. So, not everybody is a heavy breather. Some it's just volume, you feel pregnant and you're just tired because, everything's you have pain, and you don't even realize you have pain. And then infertility. Okay, so see a doctor. What do doctors do? Well, we always do pap smears. That's the first thing we do. And then we do an ultrasound and lab work. And the lab work, we check a CBC. We see, the first thing we do is see how anemic you are. And then we check and see if your thyroid is our problem. And we do an ultrasound because so many people have fibroids, and we just assume you have fibroids until we know better. If you're not 21 and you're having these symptoms, please come in. We won't do a pelvic exam on you, okay? And we don't do a pap smear, okay? We just do an ultrasound, and you can experience these things before 21. And we have great treatments for you. We also check for STDs because they can make you bleed heavy. And if your bleeding has been heavy since your first period, then sometimes it can be a clotting disorder. If you're over 30 or if you have a BMI over 30, we do an endometrial biopsy because you could have cancer. Okay, so I'm a doctor and I can't help myself. Gardasil, okay? Gardasil is an HPV vaccine that everybody should get. It will prevent HPV-related cancers. And if you guys have lots of kids, grandkids, whatever, I mean, I made my kids get them when they were 13 and 9, and they were boys, and I made them get it before it was even recommended for boys. And because they spread HPV. So HPV is a virus you get sexually, and condoms don't work to protect it. And so if you can get this vaccine, it has nothing to do with fibroids. But I'm an OB/GYN, I had to give you a plug. Because we could save lives. If you guys all vaccinated, I mean, we're all too old, but if we could get our grandchildren vaccinated before they have intercourse, we can maybe eliminate HPV, which is cervical cancer, vulvar cancer, vaginal cancer, rectal cancer, head cancer. Okay, mammograms, I'm sorry. We usually do that about 40, and and pap smears again, not until 21, and then every 3 years if they're normal. Okay, go. Okay, treatment. How do we treat fibroids? Well, improve your diet always. These are a list of foods that have vitamin D in them. Obviously, you're not going to eat a couple of mushrooms every day. The easiest thing is just to take vitamin D, a pill, 1,000 a day. Okay, exercise. So Terri is an amazing exerciser, and obviously she wears the black over, and I do not exercise like Terri, but I exercise some. Not like Terri. But excessive exercise increases fibroid growth. And we think it's because of injury to the uterus. So everything in moderation. okay? You want to exercise, but it needs to be in moderation. And I mean, an hour of exercise is great, you know. Every day would be great. Anyway, cigarettes, again. What?
I said this is the first time I heard that.
Oh, I mentioned it last week. You just weren't listening.
You say go back?
Oh, no, sorry. Forward in. Okay, Lysteta is a drug that you can take. It's expensive, but it reduces how much you bleed. It's an anti-fibrotic, and it doesn't change the size of the fibroid, so it's just good to help with bleeding. Pregnancy, this is the most interesting part. So pregnancy, postpartum, it remodels the uterus and may clear smaller fibroids. So believe it, and that's why getting pregnant older, if you're not already infertile because of your fibroids, it helps to clear the fibroids. A third of women who have one fibroid when they're pregnant is gone after pregnancy, and 80% of fibroids are smaller following pregnancy. So that's pretty impressive. But I don't want you to be barefoot pregnant, but just know that pregnancy does help. Okay. Birth control pills is the most common way we treat fibroids. You go to the doctor, we give you birth control pills. But is it really treating fibroids? It's not. It's not. What it does is it thins the lining of your uterus so you don't bleed as much. The first year is okay, but after the first year, your fibroids will continue to grow because we're giving you hormones. Okay, you might not be bleeding, but we're not keeping you from your fibroids from growing. So doctors will give you birth control pills, and it does help, but it's not the best option. Okay, and the same with NuvaRing. NuvaRing is like birth control pills, and it's just so non-steroidal anti-inflammatories, they work. You don't have to see a doctor for that. If you take 2 Aleve 3 times a day, or if you take 2 Aleve twice a day, the first 3 days of your period, it will decrease how much you bleed. Okay, you can do that. I mean, if you're bleeding, and make sure you take it with food so you don't get an ulcer. And that does help. It doesn't reduce the fibroid size. The only thing it does is it helps the amount that you bleed. So 2 Aleve with food the first 3 days. Okay. Okay, so I thought there were going to be high school students here. Well, you guys are in college and you're going to law school, so you don't care. So you guys, weren't there a couple other you're in high school, right?
Oh,
College. You guys don't care. Unless you're going into being a doctor, you care. Okay. Yeah, so this just shows the cycle, how your glands grow, and then if you don't get pregnant, they just, so the glands grow, you don't get pregnant, and they shed. And this just shows how the hormones work to make the lining grow. So we can see this. Okay, but this is a really funny one, and it's funny to me. It might not be funny. So this is a legend. There's a legend from the days of yore. One speaks of a beast in a cave. 'Twas silent and peaceful until the clock strikes the 3rd week upon time it would stir. The beast was ferocious, rumbling deep, spewing forth his disappointment, for it required baby and had none. It would hit hard in his brain, stopping at nothing to spread chaos the beast felt within. Eventually it would accept a sacrifice of wine and ice cream. After 1 week, the beast would retreat, awaiting a baby once more. And then the heart asked the brain, is the uterus real, brain? Oh, come on, does it sound real? Anyway, it just, I mean, who doesn't feel it? Okay, so this just shows how the glands inside the uterus, they grow, and then when when you're not pregnant, all these glands, they get shed up to this layer. And if the fibroid is pushing on, if the fibroid is pushing here, then it's supposed to contract. These blood vessels are supposed to contract. And if the fibroid is pushing here, that blood vessel isn't going to contract and it just bleeds. And so that's just strange. Okay. Okay. So one of the best birth control that we have is an IUD. Okay. An IUD, and that's not a Paragon. Okay, and it's not a copper IUD. You want, if you have fibroids and you're young, and you want to have children, and you just want to control your bleeding or control the growth of the fibroids, the way to go is use birth control, like the Marina, the Skylar, the Lina, the Kalina. They all release a small amount of progesterone, and that small amount of progesterone works locally and decreases the amount of hormones in the rest of your body. So, and then the fibroids don't grow, and it improves anemia. It reduces the volume of the fibroids, and it inhibits new fibroid formation. The only time it's not very good for fibroids is when there's a fibroid hanging in the uterus, like that one I showed you. Okay, so, sorry. So this is a picture of the Marina IUD. We've all, I mean, maybe everybody hasn't seen it, but, so it does not work by causing abortions, okay? It works by reducing hormones. And it inhibits sperm from reaching the fertilized egg. Anyway, it's a great drug. It's a drug. It's not, like the Paragon and the copper IUD, they work by irritating the lining of the uterus. This works by releasing progesterone. And it does all these things by releasing progesterone. So it's really a good option. Okay, another option is those progesterone implants, the Nexplanon, but that's not as good because it releases more progesterone because it's not working locally, it has to get everywhere. Does that make sense? And so it hasn't been shown to be as good. It does slow the bleeding because it does thin the lining of the uterus, but it lasts a month. You can get it every month, or you can get it once every 3 month shot. And menopause, nobody really wants to be in menopause. It causes hot flushes, it makes you lean, you lose your bone, you become a witch. You know, I mean, that's what old witches were, right? It's, in the old days, they get menopausal, they get osteoporosis, their nerves. I mean, you know, it's nothing that you want. And, but you can take it for a short period of time, and because it inhibits your estrogen and progesterone, and thereby reduces the fibroid size, but you can't take it longer than a 12-month period at a time because you're losing bone. You lose 6% of your bone, and then when you quit it, you regain half that bone, but you never get back to the same size. So you can't take it away. And we use it sometimes to decrease the bulk of the fibroids before surgery. Like if somebody has like fibroids up to here, then we'll try to reduce the size so we can take them to surgery and have an easier surgery. And we do now give progesterone with Lupron, and it just makes the symptoms better so they're not, you know, people aren't moving when you walk around. Okay, so there's a new thing you might have seen on TV called Orlistat, and it works a lot like Lupron. It works at the pituitary gland. It blocks the receptors of GnRH. Blocking those receptors causes the LH and FSH not to stimulate the ovaries, and the ovaries are what produce estrogen and progesterone. And without the estrogen and progesterone, then the fibroids start shrinking up. And estrogen also causes endometriosis to grow. So it's now recommended for endometriosis, but medical doctors are also using it for fibroids. Okay, so we've talked about medicines you can take. Now these are procedures you can have done, and everybody likes this. If you don't want surgery, this is the way to go. Okay, so this is called a uterine artery embolization. Okay, and it results in the shrinkage of fibroids by 30 to 46%. Compared to hysterectomies, there's a shorter stay in the hospital, and only 27% of people that have the uterine artery embolization need to have a hysterectomy. Let's go to the next slide. So this just shows a picture of, so you know when you're having a heart attack, or when somebody's having a heart attack, they can go to the hospital and have a wire thread up their leg into their heart and then break up the plaque in their heart and the heart attack stops. Everybody's heard of that, right? Maybe. Okay, so this is just the opposite. You can have a wire thread up your leg and into your uterus and actually into the very vessels that lead to the fibroids, and they can stick pellets in those vessels and stop the blood flow to those fibroids. So it works really well. A radiologist does it. You still have the fibroids, but they shrink in size because you just got rid of the blood supply. And so if you have too many fibroids, a radiologist won't do it. Or if the fibroids are too big, a radiologist won't do it. Or if you want to have children, a radiologist won't do it because you're obstructing the blood supply to the baby, to the uterus, and that means you're obstructing the blood supply. So, okay, so myolysis is when you can either freeze the fibroids or you can burn the fibroids, and you do this during a laparoscopic surgery, and it like leaves Swiss cheese, like holes in the uterus, and it causes a lot of scars. And they've abandoned it in Europe, but they're still doing it here in the United States, but I don't know. Okay, this is kind of cool, this magnetic resonance guided ultrasound ablation. So they get an MMR machine, they find the fibroid, they map it out, and they use an ultrasound to destroy it with the ultrasound heat. And again, it leaves like Swiss cheese. Your fibroid's like holes in it, or your uterus has like holes in it. And so it's not recommended if you want to have children, but that's if you don't want to have a hysterectomy. And it's contraindicated if you have too many fibroids or the fibroids are too big. And you can't use it if you've ever had any surgeries because it gets okay. Okay, myomectomy. Only 2 more slides. Myomectomy is when we take people to surgery and cut the fibroids out. And you can have your fibroids removed, and then we close up that dead space. So here's a picture of, so remember when I said this little fibroid can cause recurrent miscarriages? Well, we can do this as an outpatient procedure and remove this little fibroid. If it's hanging in the uterus, if it's inside the uterus, we can just remove it using the scope, and we use a suction machine. And, it's like a rotor that it really is. It chops it up, sucks it out, and then you can get pregnant. So this is the easy fibroid to get rid of, and that's called myomectomy. That's not like Terri had. Okay, this is more like Terri. This is when we open the uterus up and remove the fibroids. We can do this. This is an open procedure where you make a C-section scar, but if there's not a lot of fibroids, if you don't actually have to palpate them to find them, if we can see them, we can do it robotically, and so that is an outpatient procedure, and you just are left with 4 scars. But when you have so many fibroids, we have to open you up, remove remove them and we sew everything back up so you can have children. And we do that when the fibroid's too big and pushing on the baby so that the person can have children. And it works really well. Awesome. Okay. Can you go on? I guess I can see one slide. Okay, endometrial ablation. So this does not cure fibroids, but it stops the heavy bleeding. This is a procedure where you show up the night before, we take you to surgery, I look inside your uterus, I scrape the lining of your uterus, and then I burn the lining of your uterus. It takes 5 minutes to burn the lining of your uterus. The scraping and looking takes the whole thing takes half an hour. And then you go home like an hour later. And it works 90% of the time to reduce how much you bleed. 50% of the time that it works, you don't have periods anymore. The other 50% of the time that it works, your periods are very light, like panty liners. And then 10% of the time it doesn't help at all. And 5% of the time you get a new pain that you've never had before, and you only have to get rid of this hysterectomy. So 50% of people still end up getting a hysterectomy. It doesn't help with the bulk problems, but it does help if the only problem is bleeding and you don't want to have any more children. So that's an endometrial ablation. Okay. Hysterectomy. Okay, so there's lots of ways to do hysterectomy, and nobody wants to have a hysterectomy. The talk was to avoid a hysterectomy. I've had a hysterectomy. I did a hysterectomy today. I have one tomorrow. That's my bread and butter. I love doing hysterectomies. But you guys want to avoid having hysterectomies because well, that's what we're going to talk about. But in case you have to have a hysterectomy, let me just talk about the there's a vaginal. When I first started working, there was only two. There was a vaginal hysterectomy and an open hysterectomy where we used to make a C-section start. But now and then as medicine progressed, we started doing laparoscopic hysterectomies, and now we have the robot. And what happens is I can make 4 little incisions, dime-sized incisions, around your belly button. Put these long instruments in, hook them up to a robot, and separate your uterus, your cervix. Your cervix is part of your uterus. If you're going to have a hysterectomy, if you don't remove your cervix, you're going to get fibroids on your cervix. And so you have to have your cervix removed. So your cervix, your uterus, and we remove the tubes. And the reason why we remove the tubes nowadays is because we found that 80% of ovarian cancer actually starts in the tube. And by removing the tube, we reduce the risk of ovarian cancer by 80%. And then we leave your ovaries because even when you go through menopause, you still continue to produce some testosterone. And the testosterone, even though it causes a little chin hair, it makes you live 2 years longer. And it's kind of this little spice of life thing. So we try to leave the ovaries. We take out the uterus, the cervix, and the tubes. And if you're not through menopause, then you still produce hormones just like you were before. We take it all out through your vagina. We sew up the top of the vagina using the robot. We undock the robot and sew your skin the old-fashioned way. You're in the hospital for a few hours or overnight. The next day you get to go home. We need 2 weeks of quiet. But after 2 weeks, you can start shopping. You can walk the block. You can walk the dog. You cannot be Terri Allen though for 6 weeks. Okay, because Terri Allen is a kickboxer. You can't be extraordinary. That's what everybody can't be extraordinary for 6 weeks. No, I mean seriously, all hysterectomies we have to wait 6 weeks before you can, be extreme. But after 2 weeks, you can live a normal life. So, okay, so my talk's on fibroids. But one more. But we all want to have a normal uterus. And as you know, as the talk showed or demonstrated, 80 to 90% of African Americans don't have a normal uterus. And it's surprising you. It's something that we can help. We can help you live a better life. Okay. Does that make sense? Okay. Does anybody have any questions? I didn't mean to make it a downer. Sorry.
So we're opening it up for Q&A. If you have any questions for Dr. Doan, now's the time to go ahead and ask them.
So I have a question. So fibroids leave after menopause, after menopause is
Yeah, if you're not if your BMI is less than 30, then yeah. But if your BMI is greater than 30, then you continue to produce estrogen in the fat, and then the fibroids continue to grow. So
You were saying heavy exercise increases them?
heavy exercise, like Terri Allen, like 5 times a day. And if you just go to Terri Allen's class, it's fine. But if you become Terri Allen, then it's fine. But as long as you just do it in classes, you're good. It's extreme exercise. Extreme. So like Serena Williams and stuff. that time. Most of us are not extreme athletes. I'm not.
You know the percentage of athletes that do get fibroids to the place where they have to do all of these remedies?
No, I don't. No. Yeah. Right. And there are more. But it's also very common anyway. Okay. I didn't mean, anybody have any questions? Fibroids can, most people live with them, it's not a big deal. But if you're bleeding, or if you're uncomfortable, if you have lower back pain, if you're feeling bloated, if you're having UTI symptoms, if your bladder's getting squeezed, if your mouth's getting squeezed, as we showed in our little example. Thank you, team. Okay, go ahead.
So the fibroid that cause clots?
Yeah. You mean like blood clots coming out of you? Yeah. Yep. See your doctor. Okay, we can help. We really can. I mean, the IUDs, they were great. You leave them in for 5 years. We take it out, put a new one in. It's a nice way not to have surgery.
I have a question. Can
Sure.
fibroids cause ovulation pain?
Well, ovulation pain happens anyway. And ovulation pain should only be a day, and it should be on the day 14 of the first surgery period, and it should only be 1 day once a month. And it doesn't cause ovulation. It can cause any other thing, but not that. Any other questions?
Okay, you talking about those long period too, said 6 or 8 pads.
I said eight pads a whole period. 8 super pads. Those are super pads. Yeah. Yeah, 8 pads. Yeah. Or not, it doesn't, not super pads, not like overnight pads, but 8 normal pads are normal. Like 8 regular pads. And, and only 16 regular tampons. So if you're using 16 super tampons, you're happy. What?
Or you're doubling up on pads.
Well, yeah, then you're way abnormal. Yeah, we can help. And we can make your life better.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Dr. Doan. Let's give her a hand. And thank you to our volunteers for being different body parts.
Right. I know, right? Weren't they great? Weren't the valves, fibroids?
So are you going to stick around for a few minutes?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Dr. Doan's going to stick around for a few minutes. If you have a personal question or something, you can just see her right after. We're going to go ahead and do our last few raffles. If you find okay, there's a big swag bag. I got 3 more cups, compliments of Legal Shield. Get your raffle tickets ready. All right, 846. of course. 7, 3, 7, 2. All right, congratulations. Thank you. That's the big prize. Congratulations. What's your name? Good. Congratulations, Rochelle. Okay, 8, 4, 6, 7, 3, 7, 5. Yay! And what's your name? Jeanette. Jeanette. Congratulations, Jeanette. All right, one more cup. 8, 4, 6, 7, 3, 6, 4. All right. Don't shoot at that table. All right, and those are $5 Starbucks gift cards, so go use those. Okay, we got our swag. This is an extra swag bag. There's some extra stuff in here. There's a fanny pack. There's another little extra goodies. Oh, look at that. Ooh, there's a bunch more stuff in here, so this is our last one. 8, 4, 6, 7, 3, 7, 6. All right. What's your name? Oh, you don't want it? You should just shake her head no. Give it to someone else. All right, you guys thank her. Everybody say thank you. Because it could be you, yeah. All right, 8, 4, 6, 7, 3, 8, 5. Is that you? 7, 3, 8, 5.
Oh, that's me.
It is you. All right. And I do have some information on this table about Legal Shield. What it does is give you the ability to talk to an attorney on any matter without worrying about a high hourly cost. We help individuals, families, small businesses. We also do employee benefits. If you need your will done, if you get tickets, if you have teenage drivers, college students, we can help with all that. There's a sheet on that table for you. And thank you so much for being so gracious to me. Thank you for coming to the event. Please, Terri Allen, would you like to give closing words, remarks? She's gonna smile and look pretty. Let's give them all a hand for putting this event.
Thank you for coming, everyone. Please tell someone about it because I'll do this again next year. So if you know someone that you think could use this information,
Cost,
please share it.
help individuals, families, small businesses. We also do employee benefits. If you need your will done, if you have tickets, if you have teenage drivers, college students, we can help with all that. There's a sheet on that table for you. And thank you so much for being so gracious to me. Thank you for coming to the event. Please, Terri Allen, would you like to give closing words, remarks? She's gonna smile and look pretty. Let's give them all a hand for putting this event on.
Please tell someone about it because I'll do this again next year. So if you know someone that you think could use this information, please share it. July is my month, awareness month. So just check around at the end of June for my next date for 2020.
You can follow Terri Allen, Terri Allen Fitness, Terri Allen on Twitter, all that. Terri Allen, look her up.
See all their class schedules inside. We can kickbox together and dance together. I expect to see y'all next week, Monday. 5:30. I expect to see y'all.